The Sacramento County Coroner's Office identified the man who police allege was shot by his roommate Wednesday night as Matthew Lambert, 26 years old, of Sacramento. Lambert's roommate, James Fetchy, 35, was arrested Thursday on suspicion of voluntary manslaughter and use of a firearm in connection with the shooting. Lambert's stepfather, Jared Claypool of Woodlands, said a third roommate who was home at the time of the incident told him that the shooting stemmed from a fight regarding Lambert's girlfriend. Matt came home and he was mad because the roommates were talking bad about his girlfriend, Claypool said. Sheriff's deputies arrived at the home on the 9500 block of Linda Rio Drive in the La Riviera neighborhood just before 9:30 p.m. Wednesday night after receiving a 911 call about a shooting. They found Lambert with a gunshot wound to his head. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Sacramento County Sheriff's spokesman Sergeant Tony Turnbull said a verbal and physical altercation between the two men ensued before the shooting. Claypool described his stepson as a caring man who was getting his life together. When he was a teenager, he was wild and didn't necessarily go down the right path, he said, but in the past 5 years, he's been building himself up. Lambert attended Woodlawn High School and Cache Creek High, a continuation school in Woodland, Claypool said. He had purchased his first car and was renting the home where he lived. Claypool said Lambert had told him he was letting Fetchy rent a room in the house because he was down on his luck. At the time of his death, Lambert was working at the Mark Stein Beverage Company, a beer distributor in Sacramento, and was aiming for a managerial position. Several of his co-workers have offered condolences through a GoFundMe page dedicated to helping the family with funeral costs. And home sweet home. You guys are probably wondering why I chose to talk about Mr. Lambert's story. I don't know him. I don't know any of his family. I've never lived in Sacramento. It was a murder with no real special circumstances. I'm not at his grave, and I am not at the scene of where the murder took place. No, the reason why I'm talking about Matthew Lambert is because a couple years ago, I was at a thrift store in Sparks, Nevada, which is right next to Reno. And I'm looking for a couple t-shirts, so I'm digging through the 25-cent t-shirt bin, and I'm digging. Might find a cool t-shirt, you never know. And I pulled this out. It was a t-shirt that says, in loving memory, Matthew Lambert, 7/27/90 to 9/14/2016. I seen this t-shirt at the bottom of the 25-cent bin, and I picked it up, and I threw it back. Not really my thing. And I turned around and I started walking away, and I felt guilty. This overwhelming sense of guilt just totally took over me. And I said, what's wrong with me? So I turned around and I got this shirt and I bought it. And it's been in my van ever since. I keep meaning to stick it in my storage every time I go back to Las Vegas. But every time I get the shirt, I never do. I've never worn it. And it really just sits at the bottom of my seat. And today I was doing my laundry and I picked up the t-shirt and I said, I remember. I couldn't let it just sit there in that thrift store and just people just toss it aside. So I bought the t-shirt. It was only 25 cents. What can you do? But a pretty sad story. You get beat up in a fight. He got the best of James Fetchy, and he went to his room, retrieved a handgun, came out into the living room and shot him one time in the head. This was a man that had many psychological problems. He was an Army vet. I believe he served in Afghanistan. He tried to run for city council, Rancho Cordova City Council there in Northern California. A very troubled man, and Matthew was kind enough to let him stay in his house because he was kind of down on his luck. And he came home, and a fight over a girl turned into fisticuffs, and it's becoming scary because nowadays we can't get into a fist fight without shooting and killing each other. So I always avoid at all costs fights with other people because you never know what could possibly happen. Anyways, that's it. Just a quick story, quick video. There will be more videos. I'm off the next 2 days. So guys, I ask you not of your money, not of your $20 bills, your $10 bills. No, I ask you, please, just one thing, please share my videos on social media where applicable. It always helps me out a lot. I always appreciate it. Now, if you excuse me, I have a date with a dishwashing machine at work here, so I gotta go. My condolences to Matthew Lambert's family, and yeah, that's it. So I gotta get to work. You guys be blessed. Have a good day. Lamont at large. I'm signing off. Peace out.